it from here. So I have the laptop out of the way. No, it wants me to make another live stream. Okay, I'm live. Excellent. I wonder if it'll let me just tune into live on my tablet. Come on, give me the live stream. Ah, phooey. I don't know how I used to do that. Anyway, howdy. I am going to build this frozen house, and I have decided to do it via the live stream. What I'll do is I'll put this in the corner so I can also see your messages. Howdy. This is what we're building, and this is the end which I'm going to build from. Yes, let's open this up. My howdy. Good to see you. I'm just opening this. You know, I'm off to a good start when I can barely open the box. So, these are the ingredients we have today. Howdy. Good to see everyone. And we have the cookie bits. And this is what it's meant to look like on the finished product. Of course, our finished product will not look like that. It will look far worse, but let's give it a shot. You know, I should look towards this camera. Maybe if I put this over here, I'll look more that way. Is that kind of in the way? That's kind of in the way there. Let's put it there. That's out of the way. Cool. Okay, so I think that's all of our ingredients. Yeah, so there's less for us to work with here. So to start with, to answer your question, Thomas, I did enjoy Frozen 2, but I will say that I found the story really confusing. Like, I could not actually keep up with it. And I noticed Rebel Taxi also really struggled with it. And in the polls, I don't know, I didn't get a good opinion, even though we had 6,000 responses. 75% hadn't seen it. So, you know, it could be that just probably won't be hitting any box office hits. I mean, if we don't want to see it, who does? Kids, I guess. Icing bag preparation. So first off, we have to knead the icing pouch for 1 minute onto a soft, smooth consistency, like toothpaste texture. So we'll knead the, this looks very weird, but we're going to knead the texture here. Yeah, it's kind of toothpastey. Let's try that. Okay, next up, we need to cut icing bag. Start the flow of icing. Snip the tip to approximately 7 millimeters opening. Be sure not to cut the opening too large. Your icing is now ready to squeeze. Well, it sounds easy enough. Well, it looks like 7 millimeters to you, doesn't it? Yeah? Yeah, probably. Maybe about there, yeah. That'll come out. Let's try that. Okay, so next we've got to arrange house pieces for assembly. Lay out house pieces on the table. Pipe a thick line of icing on the reverse. You know, the nice thing is this time it tells me which are the side walls and which are the roof, which it would have been nice if the other one told me. Anyway, yes, I have heard of hidden object shows, crafted pin. There's not much of a audience for them anymore in Australia. Like they used to be basically, actually they're the only things that really show up at the computer, the game store now actually on the shelves, apart from the really big titles like World of Warcraft, which are just going to be there till doomsday, I guess. All right, so we've got these. So we've got all our pieces here. Gee, this is really small. This isn't going to be very, surely something smaller will be easier to make. Now, this is the tricky part. If you've got this at home, be very careful when opening, because it's quite hard to do those without scissors. And you could well wreck the icing pieces. Okay, so we've got these two. Now, let's figure out ahead of time which is which. So this is the front and back panels of the house. These are the side wall, and these are the roof. Wait, no, it doesn't. Wait, the smaller ones are the side wall. These are the roof panel. Okay, cool. We got that up. We got that right. All right. Okay. Now, if we can open this one next, we will have the walls ready, but it doesn't seem to want to open. There we go. Okay. All right. So now we have our walls, and these will be our roofs. Oh no, I wrecked it. I wrecked it already. Look at that. Because you have to use scissors, I don't know how else you'd open it. It just kind of falls apart. Well, give it a try like that. Okay, so put the scissors aside, out of the way. Okay, now we have our pieces. Arrange house pieces. Pipe a thick line of icing on the rough side of front and back panels of house along the edges. Front and back panels of house along the edges. Then pipe a strip of icing down the house base as shown. House base. Oh, the cardboard. So why don't you use the cardboard then? Okay. Well, I think we can do that. Yeah, that way it'll actually stick on. That'll work. So let's get the cardboard ready. And we will put that on there. Oh, good. We have a base that might actually work. So I guess, yeah, and it wants us to put the icing. Okay, so to start with, let's start with doing the roof panels. So we put it along here. And yes, I am very much a cookie rookie. Says Dar the Star. Ah, come on. Maybe I didn't need it enough. No, that didn't work. Oh, let's try cutting a bit more. Yeah, no, I think I've made it worse. How do they do these? It's just, how do they make it look so easy? Okay, well, we botched that up. Well, I botched that up. Come on, actually stick on. It kind of sort of sticks on. No, it doesn't. Well, we'll keep going anyway. I feel like this is worse designed than the one I used before. Oh, there we go. We've kind of got something going there. Okay, yeah, so we've got that side done. All right. Now, have I made any big mistakes here yet? Has anyone noticed I've made any big mistakes? Let me know if so. Let's see, cookie rookie. Yeah, I know I'm a cookie rookie, but have I made any mistakes so far that you've seen? So I haven't made the, I think this is the part I've meant to put icing on. Okay, let's just start with that. We'll just follow the instructions and hopefully I'll get it right. Okay, and I need to put some along the house base here, so along the cardboard. Come on. There we go. Man, I don't know how kids meant to do this. Maybe they're more coordinated than me. I shouldn't assume it. Wait, no, is this the house base I'm meant to use? Oh, this is probably the house base I'm meant to use. Okay, don't worry, we can do this. Well, that doesn't look like this. Okay, it probably is kind of silly that you do it on a piece of cardboard, hey. This would make more sense to do it, wouldn't it? Yes, yes. So we will put the icing in that base instead, and it's less likely to fall over that way. Hopefully I won't run out of icing before I figure out what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so it wants me to do it this way. House base. No, I think it's this way. This way, yeah. Okay. This will hopefully be less of a disaster than before. This is even harder to do. Okay, it's kind of sort of in there. Okay. Now, have I missed any important? Yeah, I probably could use a bit of help. There's lovely Lena. Okay, so now I erect walls. Insert back panel of house into the icing on base, then press side wall. Okay. Maybe I should put icing down on the whole thing first so it just all sticks in place. Let's do that just to be on the safe side. I don't want to have it falling over like last time. Come on, out you go. Hopefully we'll have enough for everything else. Yeah, we should do. We got enough there. Oh, I forgot a bit there. This is more meticulous than I realized. I apologize. I really should stick this over here so I'm not constantly facing, because I'm trying to look at you guys, which means I look at the camera, which I look at the computer. Anyway, so this is the scary part. This is the part I get wrong. So this part, the small parts, need to go along like this. No, wait, this doesn't fit either. This, no, that can't be that way. It has to be this way. So, I mean, they must mean this part. So Am I making any stupid mistakes here? No, this looks about right. Okay, that goes there. And that goes there. Okay, so that's sticking in place, sort of, maybe. Icing on the base, then press side up against, oh, I forgot to stick the icing on the base. No, wait, I've got the icing on the base, that's okay. And the icing on the base, and press side up against icing strip on the panel. Repeat process of front panel and second side wall. Okay, so now we put this down. Lots of icing, so I don't botch it up. There, that's about right. I think we got it this time. My battery is also rather low crafted pin, but I wanted to move the laptop over here. Okay, so let's put that down there. I should do this where you guys can see it. There we go. So we've got this down here. Oh, that needs to kind of go in. Oh no, it broke off. Oh, oh, come on. We almost got the base on. There we go. Okay. We have a base. We have a base. Hooray! It's a bit smaller to work with this time, but I think it's looking okay. Okay, now we can add icing to the house peaks. Prior to putting on roof pieces, pipe a thick line of icing along the roof edges and the front and back panels. We can do that. Okay, pipe the icing along here. Let's just make sure we got plenty here. There we go. Okay, there we go. Come on out. There we go. Sort of. Okay. How's it looking so far? Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. Says Fanta. Are you ready, kids? Are you ready, Boo? That was a tough one to research, actually, doing the games, but it was an intense list, but I'm really glad to have it on the channel in the library, because I was like, yeah, you know, I've seen a lot of, not a lot, but a few people cover it, and they didn't always, now there was a lot of really good reviews of this one, I shouldn't say that, but it was nice to cover all of them at once and kind of have them in a nice, easy format for everyone to access. Now, before I go on, am I doing this the right way? Panels and on place for 1 minute, pipe a strip of icing along the joint seam to the top roof. Hold in place for 1 minute while the icing sets. Okay, in the meantime, oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Who's soaring and yellow and porous is he? Oh, I broke it. I almost had it. You saw that. I did everything right. I did everything right here, but it just fell apart. That was no fair. I did everything right. Okay, so we almost had it, but this broke. Look at this. Look at this. It broke. It just fell apart. So let's try and stick it on using my obviously too strong a touch, and we almost had it. Okay, I'll stick that roof on there. And maybe we have a complete house. It kind of looks like a complete house, eh? Was not nonsense. Be something you wish. So flop on the deck and flub like a fish. And that's about, you know, that's as close as I think we're going to get right there. So we have a complete house. So, no, wait, no, we don't have a. You know what? Screw it. I can't build a house. I cannot build a cookie house. They just fall apart on me. Have a bit of that there and just, yeah, they won't even come out now. There, yeah. And stick some pieces on here and just, damn this gingerbread house, just screw this gingerbread house. Open up and let me stick something on here. And oh, I was so confident this time that I'd get it. There. Oh, well, sure. Put that there, and that there, and that there, and that there, and that there. Behold, the gingerbread house. Sort of, kind of, as complete as I'm going to get it. Anyway, before I go, I'll chat with you guys for a bit. That's probably more interesting than me building a house. We'll leave that on there so people can see my terrible concoction. All right. You do top 10 YTV shows. I haven't tuned in for much YTV. Wasn't gonna keep falling apart. Wasn't that like Daria and stuff? But I kind of missed a generation for that. Yeah, go ahead and ask me something, Jubilee Jigsaw. I figured we got a bit of time before we finish the live stream, and this is completely botched up, so might as well. Haven't seen Bluey, sorry, Jubilee. My favorite kind of music is probably, the one I listen to most is probably that chill stuff. I posted a little bit of it on the LiveStream channel, actually, a compilation of some of my favorite music, like a lot of sort of calming music from Morrowind is some of my favorites. Probably really boring stuff to a lot of people. Jeremy Soule is my favorite artist. Have you seen Has Been Hotel? I haven't, lovely Lena, but everyone's been talking to me about it, so I suspect it's quite a good one. I think it's like a YouTube animation. I think I saw the trailer once, but that's about it. John asked if I've ever done a Harry Potter series review. I did. I did a review of the final film probably 5 years ago. Animatist, I think. When I was doing the 5 most popular films in the world, but yeah, I love the films personally. Absolutely huge fan of them. I was just watching Half-Blood Prince last night in between finishing off the latest video, but yeah, no, I'm quite a fan of them. Achuamando, says Angelo. Have you played the Sly Cooper game? Sorry, Darko Foxfire, I haven't heard of Sly Cooper. I haven't listened to the Steven Universe movie soundtrack, Ethan, myself, but as I mentioned, my favorite is probably the first song because of all the throwbacks it had in the to the actual show, and just a really good one. My favorite, certainly the first song they do. Wasn't quite as fond of other friends as everyone else, but yeah. Certainly more of very much a musical. Okay, have you seen Rosanna Pansino, says Super Rosie Bunna Fox Girl? Her show, The Nerdy. Okay, I haven't heard of any of that. Sorry, Super Rosie. Man, I must sound like a complete ignoramus because you guys are throwing a bunch of really obscure shows at me, or just maybe I've lived in a well watching too much SpongeBob. Yes, other friends is the best, says Dal the Star. Yep. What happened to your worst Italian? Yeah, I'm not going to go there. Bad People tried to, in terms of Italian cartoons, I had to take it down. As much as I love that video and I loved getting a mustache, I had to take it down because some very, very bad people were doing harassing and stalking people in my name. Oh, for some stupid reason. Some of the creators, it was absolutely, I don't think I've ever seen something so horrifying on my channel in my life. And the fact that people were doing that for some reason, I told them, you should go to jail for this. You are doing horrible stuff that I would never. Anyway, it just ended up so bad that I took it down permanently because I didn't want to give them any fuel to hurt people. And it's just the worst thing that my channel has ever done. Can you finish the house, Strider? I believe in you. See, Fana, the problem is that it's actually, the roof is cracked. It's made of such flimsy material that it instantly cracks. How is a kid meant to build that? How is a kid meant to build this? I'm not trying to finish it. People who do that are truly dreadful. Yes, they are, Nathaniel. Where is the lamb sauce? I don't know. I don't know what lamb sauce is. Sorry, good choice. Yep. Worst Italian cartoons, Fanta. Took it down. What is the weather like? It's really, really hot. I think Roland was talking about it on her live stream last night too. Oh, was it a live stream she did? Anyway, yeah, we've just gotten really hot here. It's gotten kind of foggy outside too. It's just humid and horrible. You'll notice I might look a bit hot, as in sweaty in the picture. That's why I've closed the blinds behind me, because it's just letting the heat in. Yes, rooftops do exist, or they did exist. There was part of a rooftop here at some point. It doesn't even taste that good. You know, I would much prefer a gingerbread house. How's the icing taste? Yeah, it's good. I would not give this to a kid. Tastes terrible. Did you know that Robin was in SM? Yes, I'm very aware, lovely Lena. I wish they'd pay my friend a bit better, though. They can definitely afford to pay her better. I'm not a fan of SMG4, and yeah, I think they could treat their staff a bit better and certainly pay them better. So yeah, anyway, I'm glad to see her doing work in the show, though. She deserves it. Hey, Strider, I would love to visit Australia. Cool animal lover. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you'd like all the animals here. You probably like the wombat. The wombats do bite. I saw a lot of joeys around lately. Have you played Bendy and the Ink Machine? Is that a game, Super Rosie? I'm really disappointing you with answers, aren't I? Let's see if I can get down here. I know, I'll pull my chair over. That way I don't have to lean over like a twit. And let's just get out a... one sec, sorry, I'm just going to get out this so I don't get everything sticky. Okay, so... Oh, now I can see you. Okay. It did not turn out like this. Did not turn out like this. Their version. My version. Hey, nice to see you. Oh, hey, Mizuki. What are your thoughts on Pokemon Sword and Shield? This one I can do, because, yeah, I played through a fair bit. I really liked the open fields, but I was severely disappointed by the amount of Pokemon they've taken away. That was quite a shame, you know. I was a big fan. I couldn't even reestablish my Ghost team or my Dark team because so many of the Pokemon was taken away. You know, like, I didn't know half these Pokemon, and it's like, yeah, I'll miss some of the old ones. Yeah, frick Disney for the flimsy cookie house. Let's see. Which Pokemon game do you have? Sword or Shield? I got Robin Sword and I got me Shield. Mizuki Rip. Well, yeah. It's standing in peace. Actually, it sticks really well. Look at that. Good stick. Ooh, good sticking. But this didn't even hold enough. Sorry, I'll quit eating the cookie hat. It doesn't even taste that good. It's just there. It's good. It's there. Sorry. Favorite Pixar movie? That's a tough one. Obviously, Toy Story series is pretty good. You know, it's certainly up there for me. Ones I remember, certainly the best. Pixar movies. I suddenly want to do this. I mean, obviously, I did a whole list of worst and best Pixar movies, and I included. Oh, wait, no. Inside Out. Is that Pixar? I don't think Inside Out was Pixar. I think that was Disney, or was it? No, it might have been. Was it? I can't remember. But yes, what I'll even do is I'm going to move this over here so you guys can see me better, or I can at least look like I'm facing you more. And you can see the mess that is my kitchen. Now, wait, why am I facing it over there? There we go. Okay, just move that there. There we go. Okay. Inside Out is Pixar. Okay, excellent. In that case, my favorite is Inside Out. But I went on for like 4 minutes when I did Best Disney Movie, so I don't talk about it much now. I'm like, I've probably covered everything there is that I could cover anyway. And burning down the house. No, wait, that's crawling in my skin. I'll say this once and I'll shut up. You need to watch Bluey. Oh, yeah. You mentioned it a couple of times, actually, I think, Jubilee. And I keep on hearing it, and I remember Hoodoo did like a creepypasta reading of it, and it actually looked really funny or really interesting from what I saw. Yes, Amen Films, I am Australian. Have you played I Am Bread? I Am Bread. I haven't heard of that one, sorry. Again, I'm disappointing you, sorry, with the little I've heard of the other stuff. Thoughts on the new Green Eggs and Ham Netflix? It's Netflix. I have actually seen that one, Tracy. And what are your thoughts on it? Because the thing is that I feel like with that new Green Eggs and Ham, it's so, I'm not going to say safe, but I feel like you could place Sam and the other guy in any situational basic sitcom of like a guy in his business doing bad and his ideas not working, and the other guy kind of, inspiring him, but it's almost a Squidward and SpongeBob dynamic. And I feel like we've seen it so many times before but I feel like the budget and the ideas behind it and the team are trying to be creative behind it. The way they're putting these pieces together is kind of different and kind of interesting. So I'm very mixed on it. I haven't kept watching it, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people do like it. Any thoughts on the new upcoming Star Wars movie? So I'm looking forward to seeing Mark Hamill again. I think it's interesting, the idea of the Palpatine coming back. I'm one of those people who really the Last Jedi was my favorite Star Wars movie, so I'm kind of split on about 50% of the fan base with that. I'm a really big fan of that movie. To answer your question, Darth Star, my favorite is The Last Jedi. Hyper-realistic blood, said Fanta. I'm disappointed that J.J. Abrams is coming back. I wasn't that big a fan of the first one. I thought that had so many stupid scenes. Like, people give The Last Jedi a hard time for like, oh, she has purple hair. It's like, old ladies have purple hair. Everyone has purple hair. We've been to cosplay conventions before. So many people have purple hair. And so what if, Carrie Fisher flies? If, the Force can do that. It's the Force. If we can lift a ship, then you can fly through space with it. It's like, I don't get some of the complaints on that. And the amount of nitpicking problems I had with the first Star, like the Force Awakens, like she walks up to the guard, no experience with the Force at all, and says, you will unlock these, and he does. And I'm just like, no, the Force takes years of training, at least a bit of training, like at least, carrying around your Master on Dagobah training, like doing something. You don't just, I don't know. It felt so lazy at times, not lazy, but it felt so hokey at times, I guess. So, yeah, now that I've completely split myself from the fan base on that because I didn't like the first Force Awakens and did like The Last Jedi. Anyway, you guys aren't interested in that. That's probably old news. I have seen a couple of episodes of My Hero Academia, Mizuki, but I guess I'm so burnt out from anime. That's kind of the thing. It's why I always bring on Robin, because she has more of a passion for it. Because even My Hero Academia, for all the quality story, the good characters, I just can't get by the squee. From about 12 years old to 18, 19 years old, I was a massive anime fan, loved it. But there was just so many years of skirt and squee I could do, and it really appealed to me. But I kind of burn out from it, and that's why I went on to cartoons instead, which for some reason has less squee. I don't know why. Do you know what I mean when I say squee? You probably get what I mean by that. Opinion on Sonic movie since the new trailer has been out. Fanta, am I automatically zooming in on the people I know? I probably am. Sorry, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. I liked the new trailer. I did like the new trailer. I had no issue with it. Obviously, Jim Carrey coming in is going to be interesting. I think the new Sonic is a better design. He's more tolerable now. I guess it reminds me so much of the Smurfs and those stupid buddy films that, like, I don't know. It's the Sonic universe I'm interested in, and Sonic himself as a character. And I feel like we have to make so many compromises from the 90s Sonic character that we know from childhood in order to get him onto the real screen, that I just don't have an interest in the weird amalgamation we bring for mass audiences. It just doesn't interest me. It's like, I feel like I'm just looking at a millennial. I don't feel like I'm looking at Sonic the Hedgehog in terms of personality. But maybe that's just me. Yes, I have seen FLCL Mizuki. I watched that one a lot when I was, it was pretty much after Evangelion. I went straight on FLCL. I also watched Benabashi, a lot of the Gainax films, and honestly, I liked them all. FLCL was a bit too abstract for me, though. Any movies I want to watch? Ming has been pulling my arm to go along to see Last Christmas. And I was like, we'll probably see it tomorrow. I might invite some of my humanist club might be interested. I don't know. I've asked them, and if they are interested, that's great. But like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really interested in rom-coms myself. But if Ming wants to see it, it's good. He's good company, so I'll go see it with him. I didn't watch the new Joker movie. Sorry, Amen Films. Yeah, I don't know. I guess edgy doesn't really. I know I do edgy sometimes, you know, in very rare occasions on this channel, on Dark Strider technically, or Black Strider. But the idea of this great misconceived villain who was really just badly treated and somehow went on the wrong road, and it's all society's fault. Even as a psychologist, I don't find that something I want to see it again. I feel like we've seen it for the last 20 years, and it doesn't interest me anymore. Like the misunderstood villain, I would rather at this point, particularly I guess after 2 years of Justice, or I did Justice in college, and I guess the misunderstood villain is so uninteresting to me now. It's just like, because in reality that so rarely happens in actual court cases and justice, and these great misunderstood people. Like, no, it very rarely happens. I'd much rather see a bit more victim encouragement of looking after the victims than all this encouragement of looking after the criminals. But you know, that's just me. Anyway, any thoughts? I haven't seen that. Sorry, Mr. Star fan, Craig of the Creek. I never watched enough of it. Are you interested in Crisis on Infinite Earths? Asked Epic Poo Poo. Good name, but I haven't heard of that. Sorry, Epic. Night Phantom. You're going too fast. Slow down. Okay, Kooky, you're just spamming. You need to go in the corner and think about what you did. You know, go in a timeline. Timeout. Yeah. Okay. But SpongeBob Yellow. SpongeBob's yellow. Yes, he is. LiveStream, you're smart. I don't know if I'm smart, but I at least look at things and pretend that try to have some perspective. I don't know. I at least don't pretend to know everything. What's your opinion on Dan versus? Oh man, you know what? I'm terrible in the cartoon community nowadays. Maybe that's why I am so separated from a lot of the other cartoon community. But one thing I can answer about is Copper, which Cool Animal Lover was asking about. As I've mentioned a lot on my Twitter and my social media, I really don't feel there is any big concern. I don't think, like, I've studied over the legislation of FTC extensively. I've extensively reread the Google guidelines. I've read the updates. FTC is even going out of their way to point out that they're aware that the cartoon, like that there are adults like cartoons and that sort of thing. They've actually added amendments in their legislation to point out they're aware of this. So it's like, we're not the target here. We really aren't the target. I mean, I heard Enter was like, he started putting this stupid disclaimer at the front. It's like, when have disclaimers ever made a difference on YouTube? I used to do those stupid disclaimers and it became more just a trademark. It's like, when have they ever given a crap? Why would you do that? Why would you interrupt 10,000 to 100,000 plus people's user experience with this stupid? I don't know. But anyway, that's his business, his channel. It's just, I really don't think there's need for a concern. I think there's a lot of fear mongering and people who are trying to bring out clickbait to get you scared. And the thing that has annoyed me the most of all out of this is that I've seen good people in our community deleting their videos because they think they're going to be sued $42,000. For one thing, $42,000 is the maximum they can fine you, and that it depends on how much the channel makes. They literally state that in the freaking legislation. Like, so you've got all these stupid videos going, oh, you'll be fined $42,000. Shut up. Sorry, it annoys me. That really gets to me when people are fear-mongering and getting good people who don't know better scared just because they want some clicks. It's just, ooh, maybe I'm on the wrong platform, because that does annoy me, but because that's reality. of a great deal of YouTube. Not all of it, but a great deal of it. And you don't need to delete your channel because you review cartoons. You don't need to delete your channel because you do gameplay videos. You are perfectly safe to keep your videos up. Do not delete them. We need more content like yours on YouTube. We don't need less of it. We need less of the clickbait that is telling you you should delete your videos. That's what we need less of. I'm sorry, that gets me riled up and angry. So yes, you are safe on copper, and I've probably answered that more than enough to your satisfaction. Okay, I didn't see the YouTube rewind, to be honest, AU dubs. I was thinking about it last night because I was watching Hank's video, and I would wonder how creators react to YouTube rewind. I think some can take it on the nose, but for me, when I see YouTube rewind, all I'm reminded of, hey, for your 5 years of work and constantly working hard on your videos, this is all the people who are doing 5 to 10 times better than you without even lifting a finger. Or, you know, some working really hard. I mean, Kurska's on there, and they work hugely hard. I love that channel. But, you know, I don't know. To me, I've never really got inspiration or joy from YouTube Rewind. And maybe that's partially my anxiety. Maybe that's partially because I'm a bit of a jerk on I don't know. I never really got any joy from YouTube Rewind. But I think to a viewer, just a regular viewer who comes on the platform, there's a lot to be enjoyed from it. And particularly they're taking a different approach this year of basically saying, statistically, these are the channels and the countries that have done the best. And I think that's a good approach to take with it. Let's see, what's another question I can answer? Christian Turtle asks, are there any movies in 2020 you are going to see? Excuse me. Well, I don't know what else is coming out. The main two I've been looking forward to have been Frozen and Frozen 2, and yeah, I saw that. So I'm sorry, Tracy, I haven't seen Big City Greens yet. Is that on Disney Plus? Howdy to you too, Aiden. Kovar, George the Brony Huntsman. Thoughts on My Little Pony Friendship is Magic ending? To be honest, the main part I've seen about it is just coming from Crimson Mayhem's videos. Pretty much all of this week, what I've been watching is I've been playing SpongeBob games and maybe a couple of SpongeBob episodes. Pretty much the last 4 weeks has been contributing basically just watching SpongeBob specials. So if you have any questions on SpongeBob, for the last 2 weeks, 4 weeks, I've been playing the games and watching them, and I don't know, I'm burnt out from SpongeBob at this point. I love doing SpongeBob, but so much of it often, like when you do a 30-minute video on SpongeBob, it's quite intense sometimes, the research and stuff and how much you have to watch. Wait, are you Phantom Strider? Asks Aiden Kovar. No, that Phantom Strider, he lives in the next room. Just Live Strider. No, but fortunately he gives me his business. Who's your favorite My Little Pony character? Probably Pinkie Pie. That was asked by Lucy. I'd say Pinkie Pie. Just I find her her sort of that she works in creative stuff and sort of just looks for stuff that's going to make people happy and interested in entertaining people. I find episodes like Pinkie Pride really relatable, and you know, maybe that's just me, but I really enjoy that. So, do I look like a complete? You know, I must look like a complete perv with that tray. My shirt is showing too much. Have you ever played the Sonic Flash games? I grew up on the Sonic Flash games. The Star grew up on them back when the internet was 56K. The Newgrounds Sonic Flash games and all that sort of thing. Really dug them. My favorite was Sonic QT. Sonic QT. Those were really good ones. Okay, my favorite My Little Pony character is Screwball, made by the famous by the fanfiction's Daughters of Discord. Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one. How come I can't see my? Move that across to the left. Oh no, now I've lost the chat. There we go. No, move that up. Okay, never mind. All right. Okay, now I can't see the window to the right. Let's see if I can move that across so I can see the window. No, it won't let me see the window now. Now I can only read half your comments. How do I change this? What is up with my window? No, don't make it smaller. No, you're making it. Okay. Maybe if I zoom it in. Okay, now I can fix it. I fixed it. Never mind. Sorry. Okay, no, wait. Kind of fixed it. Anyway, I can see enough of your message. No, yeah. What is going on there? Goodness me. Just reset it. Put it where it was. Okay, there we go. Have you ever heard of Rebel Taxi? Asked Armor Scouts. Yeah. Taxi Boy. What's his proper name? Pan Pizza. I think he was just in the Twitter the other day. He was mentioning that he really struggled with the plot for Frozen 2 as well. I don't actually watch his videos, but yeah, seems like a nice guy. Everyone's always talking about how great his videos are. So often I'll get compared as like, your videos are terrible compared to Rebel Taxi. So it's like, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but the people who tend to like him tend to really hate me. Just so it's like a bit of an odd relationship there because of that. I'm thinking of reviewing to answer your question, Tracy, the Addams Family movie coming out. It's been advertised a lot, but when I saw the trailer, I was so disinterested. I was just like, we do not need another of these. I'm sure it'll do well though. Like, it'll probably be the next Hotel Transylvania. But I don't know, you wouldn't think kids would be that into Addams Family, but I guess it appeals to the adults as well. Like, it's something so gone from the public consciousness for me that I just like, I can't see why people would tune in for it, but there you go. I guess if it gets the advertising, it's something to see at the cinema. I feel like that's so much of cinema nowadays. It's like, it's not a matter of, I really want to see. It's like, yeah, this is on. I've got my 5 friends here. Hypothetically, someone who can get 5 friends in one place at the same time. Be like, hey, I've got my 3 friends here or whatever. What's on? Oh, I recognize Addams Family. Let's go see that. I feel like that is the dynamic now. It doesn't need to be, I really want to see this. It's like, yeah, this is on. I recognize this. And I think we're more likely to go for things we recognize, and thus we get the Disney remakes, I feel like the Disney remakes operate on that principle as well. It's like, it's not, I really want to see this. It's, I recognize that. Let's see that again. Don. This is cool. All right. Thanks, Armor Scout. What a nice guy. Gee, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come to the closest community possible of Phantom Strider and say, not to be offended, but his quality is better than yours. It's like, no, that's not at all backhanded. That's not at all backhanded. Anyway, rather than paying attention to those comments, I should pay attention to the really nice comments like Dan's here. Best DC Marvel movies, ranks 1, Joker, Batman. All strongly agree. Josh, love the channel. See, that's a nice comment. Thank you. That's all right, Arm Scout. Just, you can tell me that somewhere else. Don't come to my live stream to tell me my content is bad or it's far better than me. I hear it all the time. Just go to my IMDb profile and you'll get plenty of reviews saying how terrible I am or how mediocre I am. Thank you so much, Armor Scout. Oh, what a nice guy. Have you ever seen The Promised Neverland? I was just talking about Hook last night, actually. I was actually just thinking about Hook. I was going to post something on Twitter about it, but I was just like, yeah, I don't think people need to hear that. But I was thinking that movie for me, Hook was probably the best of the Neverland movies for me because it hit on a note. It was very Spielberg, but not too schmaltzy. There was a few parts that could have been cut, like Maggie singing that song, like that was really, really schmaltzy. And there was a few parts like that, but for the most part, I love that culmination of the adult and the child coming together to face reality and needing a combination of both. And he sort of goes to both far extreme ends. I think that was really interesting. Rainbow Dash, I'm not a fan of the EG universe. Sorry, not aware of the conversation we're having there. Sequel, isn't it? The sequel. Is it true that YouTube isn't going to demonetize you anymore? I'm not sure, Epic Poo Poo too. So far, my library hasn't been demonetized, but it could happen. You always stay vigilant on in the business. So I'm very lucky to have it, but I always assume it could disappear. something could happen. You know, we could decide tomorrow that fair use is stupid and that a lot of content on YouTube would disappear. I feel like with the YouTube stock price, though, it kind of makes the rules to some degree. And given it's now the largest streaming platform in the world, I feel like it's unlikely to disappear. It could, but it's unlikely. The Tekkit realm, talk about it. You mean Tekkit, the game on Minecraft? I certainly preferred Tekkit to Minecraft itself because it let us build things like solar power and coal power, and that was quite an interesting thing to have here. In case anyone's just tuning in, this is how the house turned out. It didn't turn out very well. Splatoon, my brother was Raz was really into, but I never really got into it myself. Hey, what starts and ends Green? John Green and Hank Green? I was just watching their live stream, actually. What about copper? Will that affect you? You might not have been hearing me talk about that before, Gravity Cap, but basically, I can say personally, after reading the guidelines and the legislation for both FTC and the updates and the Google updates, we will be fine. Please try your best not to let those clickbait articles. I don't believe they read the updates. I believe they severely misinterpreted it. I think you'll be fine. Don't delete your videos if you're doing cartoon reviews, game reviews, leave them up. I did a couple of things where I looked at people's content to remind them, this is okay, don't delete your content. My best recommendation would be completely ignore the videos on it. Read the legislation yourself, read the amendments that they say, the FTC say they understand people like cartoons that are adult as well, or over 13. It doesn't even have to be adult, it's just over 13. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go on about that. Love this channel, Josh. Oh, thank you very much. Who was that? That's a very nice comment. Christian Bale or Ben Affleck. I love this channel, Josh. Thank you, Dan. Just want to leave a friendly message saying you're a very wholesome person, and I highly respect and admire the way of handling serious topics and opinions to go beyond yours. Well, thank you, Nathaniel. I'm trying my best, even though I'm not as good as Jesus. Opinions on Doki literature. Oh, hey, Renee. I didn't tune in for much of that Doki, sorry, Lily. Anime just did a big review of it a couple of years ago. Hey, Josh, glad I finally catch you on live. Haha, it's good to see you, Renee. Have you seen the trailer for Scoob, and if so, thoughts? Is Scoob a new Scooby-Doo movie? I'm surprised they're doing another one after all the ones they've done. That's really surprising. I'ma head out. See you later, Tracy. Have you heard of the Animal Crossing games? Yes, Studio PLKS. I played a bit of the 3DS one. Animal Town? I can't remember the name of it, but no, I played a bit of it. Okay, see you later, cool animal lover. What do you think about anime and video games? Well, that's very broad, Calabalasa. Yep, see you later, cool animal games, cool animal lover. Oh, okay. Scoob is a new Scooby-Doo movie. Well, there you go. There's a new Scooby-Doo movie coming out. So, didn't know of that one. Have you heard of Darwin's Yearbook? And what are your thoughts on Infinity Train? Also love the channel, dude. Oh, thanks, Agent James. Infinity Train, I tuned in for the... it reminded me a lot of Gravity Falls, actually. You can really see the inspiration from not Gravity Falls, Adventure Time. Yeah, I really felt the inspiration from actually a culmination of them, Adventure Time and Gravity Falls in a way. I like that it's very much appealing to that female demographic in that you guys might think I'm kind of stereotyping here, but I tend to find those object finding games and that sort of things and those mystery deductive games tend to be a female market quite a lot, and I feel like I feel like they're more aiming towards that deductive reasoning market with Infinity Train. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm glad to see it out there. Yo, Strider, what's up, dude? Says Dr. Richard Ew. Oh, I'm fine, thanks. It's a bit hot today, and my house failed, but I thought I'd tune in for a bit and say hi to everyone while I was here. The DBZ Otaku, he said yes, sir. Oh, must have missed that, sorry. Did I like what? Hey, Strider.
I had this dream last night where Rick and Morty was an anime and they had a crossover into the Spider-Verse. It was amazing. Isn't it funny how our dreams can sometimes just give us such visual pictures? And the shame is that like we get such vivid pictures and beautiful things in them. Yet, so often we can barely remember unless someone suddenly wakes us up, because we spend another 6 or 5 hours, waking up and falling asleep and tossing and turning and going through REM. So we forget it all. We're not conscious enough to say, I should remember this. Most female identifying here, and I prefer store Doom style games. Really? Do you mean like SWTOR? Do you mean Knights of the Old Republic? Or I know Doom. Oh, that's really cool though, Blue Cat. And I'm not meaning to stereotype with that. I just mean in general, with the object finding games, there seems to be a generally female demographic, and maybe there shouldn't be. Maybe there shouldn't be. Maybe they should try and not make the covers purple, because you can see the marketers anyway believe it's a female demographic, and they tend to appeal by doing really cliche stuff like making purple covers, making it often have some, attractive guys or that sort of thing, or lots of female protectors. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It seems to be the marketers are trying to appeal more to women. Oh, Star Wars: The Old Republic. I was a big fan of Knights of the Old Republic. I should try a bit of the Old Republic though. That's cool, Blue Cat. I never got much into Ruby, Randy, but I was really into the RBB series. I watched that through a lot. Yeah, I did play a lot of cool math games as a kid, Dominic. I played Zumbinis. I played mostly Zumbinis, actually. That was really cool. Do I know any other languages? Currently, I'm learning a little bit of Chinese because my best friend Ming is Chinese, and I'm trying to sort of be able to communicate better. Often we'll go to a Chinese restaurant or something, or just meet someone who's lost in the city, and they'll be like Chinese, and they'll just jump into a conversation with them, and I want to be able to understand half of it. So basically, though, all I've learned so far is Ni Hao, Ni Jiao, Phantom Strider, Mingao. It's like I don't know. I keep on. I need to let go of my Duolingo a bit more to really get the hang of it, because I keep forgetting I need to practice more while I'm not studying, so I can remember it all. Like I'll see it and I'll remember it all. But yeah, also learning a little bit of German because another of my friends, Vivian, is German, and yeah, I'm trying to get a feel for a language, because it's so much easier to learn German than Mandarin, in my opinion. So much more natural, because a lot of our language comes from Germany, so that's pretty cool. I'm sorry, Gravity Cat, I haven't watched it, but I know it's really, really popular right now. It must be going freaking viral because no one can stop talking about it. Do you have any opinions on either Dragon Prince or the new She-Ra? What do you think is the Netflix on animation in general? I was fine with She-Ra. I did a review of it if you're curious of my extended thoughts on weird Netflix cartoons. Probably about a year ago. Yeah, about a year. Yeah, again, feeling more, I feel like they could have extended. I feel like the character depth isn't as much as I'd like. Like, I think I actually prefer Carmen Sandiego, which is also sort of aiming for the same demographic. I guess I identify a lot of these shows by their demographic, and in this case, Carmen and She-Ra form similar demographic, I'd say. I would love to see a little bit more complexity in some of the male characters, because I feel like her sidekicks in She-Ra are really, really not too complex, and I feel like if you used a lot of extension. But yeah, anyway, so I don't mind that. It was very fun and creative. Let's see, what are your favorite Disney sitcoms? I could rewatch Jessie. One of the ones I was just like, I could definitely rewatch that was Jessie when I was doing the Disney worst Disney Channel shows, probably, oh God, it must be like 4 years ago now. Oh, I'm old. Casa Grandes, I've heard of, but haven't watched. Sorry, Studio PL. Yes. How do you feel when you met Nostalgia Critic? Starring Calabasa. I wish things could have played out better. I really do. I would have got him on yearly. We were sort of establishing a habit of that at first, and then just all hell broke loose. And, it just, it's a very complicated topic, and I've always felt pretty crappy about it, and I wish I could have done things better. Anyway, well, I'm just curious. Oh, well, it was Miller's admitting it to Mr. Burns. Okay, I completely missed the thing you were talking about there, sorry. Joker is not another BBS. It's not just edgy. It's really touched mentally ill introvert. Yeah, I'm sure it will, Dan. I guess, I don't know, I'm more interested in the character study and psychological study of people alive right now who I know today. And I guess, I don't know, it's not what you know what it is? It's not that it's like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's not what I go to the theater for. I go to the theater for something like Disney, or I go for something like a Marvel movie. 90 minutes to 2 to 3 hours of something empowering and fun and something that gets me excited about life is what I want to see when I go to the movies. That is the experience I want when I go to the cinemas. Because my outside life, it's like, it's got enough of that. And it's like, I want to deal with the real people. And it's like, that is not what I go to the cinema for, an experience like the Joker. It's why, like the same reason I don't see horror. I don't go to the cinema to feel horrified and disempowered and scared. I go to feel a little less crappy about life. You know, it's just like, that's my goal of the cinema. So I guess that's part of it. Are you doing any sort of panels or conventions? Asked Kalbalasa. I bet I'm Calabasa. I keep pronouncing that wrong, I think. I went to Coffs Harbour, but I missed my second flight and had a hell of a time getting down there. I don't think they'll ever invite me again. Honestly, it probably cost them too much to get me up there. But that was a very pleasant experience. It is amazing in an obscure place like Coffs Harbour that I met so many viewers. Like when I went to VidCon, when I was invited to VidCon, I did not meet that many people. Like, you know, meet 6 or 7 or something like that, you know, and mostly the people are mostly there for the makeup art. It's a younger demographic, generally there for the makeup artists and vloggers, and obviously Hank, who is freaking amazing and awesome. Love him and his brother, all the work they do, amazing people. I'm surprised they haven't invited Lindsay to the Australian one. She's so big now that you think, oh, maybe she isn't. She's got an older demographic, I guess. You know, she's far more 18 to 24, so that's probably part of why. Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, I met a lot more viewers at Coffs Harbour, which is much smaller, more obscure convention. So that interests me. Oh, hey, Poker8100, thanks for the donation. You mentioned to be a fan of Drake and Josh, iCarly and Victorious, but what about Zoe 101? Mainly iCarly, Drake and Josh is what I tuned in for, to be honest, Poker8100. I would say actually one of my favorite episodes that sticks with me most anyway is Josh is Done. Also that one where he had that young girl who had a crush on him and he tried to have to sort of let her down. I thought that was really nice as well. Yeah, Drake and Josh, beautiful series. I like that Drake, Josh kind of, it was nice to see Josh lose weight actually as the series went on. Even though I feel like the later seasons were weaker, it was so nice to see him growing as a person. And so often I see people go, particularly on YouTube, from big to bigger or just regular to bigger. And it was so nice to see someone actually, you know, change their diet, that sort of thing, start moving around more, and actually become looking much healthier by the end of it. It was just wonderful to see. Weirdly enough, that's probably the part I remember the most. And I don't know. Also, if you're reading Batman comics, what is your favorite? I didn't, sorry, Agent James, but I sold a whole bunch of them actually a couple of years ago when I was trying to make a business in selling comic books. Another weird thing I did. Oh, thank you, Matty Mario. I like making SpongeBob videos. Lately, I've just felt in a very SpongeBob-y mood because, I don't know, when I do SpongeBob, it's very, I know I'm going to enjoy making it. I know I'm just going to get a kick out of doing it all, putting it all together, looking through the specials, and I often get Jem on board. I did the writing for this one completely myself for the games because it was such a new topic, and I don't know how it's going to go down. So far, people seem to be enjoying it, but it's more stepping into gaming, and I would love to be able to do that, but I don't. When I've done it in the past, there hasn't been that much interest, so we'll see how that goes. If it isn't Recno, and AKA Canyon. How you doing, Canyon? How's the weather out? How hot the weather out there? It is really hot. As you can see, I'm sweating a bit, and yeah, really hot today. bit humid. I'll finish up very soon. Sorry, I'm probably boring you guys to tears by now, but if you have any questions, feel free to fire them at me. Stridey, who do you think shot Mr. Burns? We've got a real Jim's question there. Funnily enough, I think Maggie shot Mr. Burns, but there's definitely a good argument with Homer as well. I think the more points James made on that, the real Jim's, aka on that, you know, he actually kind of denies it at one point, and he kind of makes it sound like, I was like, yeah, I can see that being possible. It was Lady Doris. It was definitely lunch, Lady Doris. Drink plenty of water. You'll never bore me. Oh, thank you, Tenant Junkie. Yeah, I will. I'll go off and do my gym session in a bit, and just cooling down today after it was it's sort of crunch time, the last 48 hours of a video where I just started editing like mad. And that being said, you know, it's a lot less work than it used to be because, you know, I've got the amazing team of Thomas, Toongrin, and Time Lord to always help me out. Jem helps me out a lot, so I've got an amazing team behind me. There's still a lot of work to do to edit everyone's stuff together and tweak it and look it through it and make sure it all suits up to what I would agree with. And like, it's not probably above 40 degrees Celsius, Kenyon, but it is really humid. We get at least 100% humidity in Brisbane. Robin's got it a bit better in Sydney. It gets a little less humidity, and the degrees is probably 3 or 4 degrees lower than us, but still rough. Oh, thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. What's your opinion on Generation 5 of My Little Pony so far? I haven't watched enough of it, sorry, Lucy, to give a good opinion of it. Crimson Mayhem would be the best person to ask on that because he's much more experienced than me. All right. You are one of the people who is very wholesome and makes my day better, and I can never see you being genuinely mad. Like your channel as a break from the storm that is life. Well, Agent James, thank you, because that is the goal. I don't know if my material is that good, but God, I try on some of those videos, and I try every second to make it okay. And like, yeah, I guess that's why it gets me when someone, after I've just spent 48 hours, you know, more 48 hours a week doing a video just really intensely, 30 minutes going, your video is okay. It's just like, it's fine. Yeah, it is okay. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, thank you. That's the main goal of my videos, is to just make something that is not calming, but is it's meant to be a respite from life. It's meant to be a respite from a lot of the craziness of YouTube. That's my main goal. It's meant to be about something that isn't hurting other people. It isn't at the expense of others. You know, it's just meant to be something there for us to enjoy. There's a little bit of a reminder of our past as well that we can enjoy. That's the main goal, you know. Are you looking forward to Steven Universe future at all, Blue Cat? Says Blue Cat. I'm kind of done with it, to be honest. Like, after the series and the movie ended the series so tightly, like that, I don't see where the series can go from here. It's like it hasn't really interested me too much. It's like, I know as far as I know, when I listen to Leah's talk about it, because Leah, as I've mentioned, is the absolute expert in Steven Universe. She knows everything about it and keeps up with it really well. She mentioned that partially, I think it might have been actually on Pie Guy's chat, who's also is hugely helpful to the team. He mentioned that they had to change the contract because they lost a lot of their money when they did the wedding. That was when they kind of had to end the series. They had to wrap things up after that because they lost a lot of their funding after they did the lesbian wedding, which, you know, is absolutely wrong, but it's so important they did it. You know, it's so good they did do it. But when you start a new series, rather than continuing the old series, you can renegotiate money and contracts. So potentially that's why they're doing Steven Universe Future now, so they can renegotiate contracts. Anyway, boring businessy capitalist stuff, you know, but that's the probably reason for it. Serta, you're a great and nice person. Tips from my cowboy hat off to you. Oh, thank you, Banjo. That's, you know, my cowboy hat off to you too. Down south in Georgia, humidity is a way of life for me. And some places you go, it is pretty rough. Like, it gets even more humid in Darwin. further up north. They call it mango madness there because the humidity goes so intense that people go a little bit batty. How are you, Strider? I'm doing okay, thanks, Christian. Yeah, just it's good to chat to the community and fail a house with everyone watching, but yeah, just felt like coming on for a bit and just chilling a bit, and I'll probably take a break in January, regardless of the algorithm. Yeah, come January, I'll probably step off for a bit and just try and get my enjoyment for life and things back again, do a few things on the side. Yeah, see how I go. I'm kind of gonna be done for a bit, I think, after December. It's been really intense, and I don't know why. I think it's because the videos have just been really long, and I've loved doing them. Love the community response, but for some reason the last 2 months have just been really intense. Anyway, I don't need to dump my mental health issues onto you guys. I'm sorry, that's not something you need to worry about. I'll be fine. You know, I've done this 5 years and I've loved it the whole way. It's intense at times, but I love it. And I can never ask for a better job, a better community. You know, it's just been so wonderful. So I just try to keep that in mind. And while I take a short break, I'll keep that in mind and look forward to coming back. Yeah, have you watched a game theory about Bendy and the Ink Machine? Super Rosie Bunny, I'm just a constant disappointment to you today because you keep on mentioning games and cartoons I haven't heard of. And I'm just like, mention a super popular one that even I would know. And that way I can answer one of your nice questions that have hearts and angels in them. What is your favorite anime you find as a guilty pleasure? Ikito-sen. Teen me loved that anime. Oh. Much of what I enjoyed. Oh, thank you, Kristen. And anyone who doesn't know what it is, you don't have to look it up. It's very much a guilty pleasure, though. It has lots of bad parts, but you know, it has some fun. Have you played The Fall 2 or ever heard of it, Dominic? I'm going to disappoint you too, Dominic. I haven't heard The Fall or Titanfall. Isn't it that first-person shooter that has really good animation? Titanfall. 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 Oh, yeah. Oh, it's Electronic Arts too. Yeah, I haven't heard much of it, sorry. Call of Duty. You know, I was looking at a really, Ancient asked about Call of Duty. I was looking actually at a Noah Cardwell, a channel I'm watching a lot of, who does these really deep analyses. Can anyone say analyses and, you know, say it properly? I can't. It's like saying edited. I edited it. You know, this is part of why it's good to not have a conversation of people, you know, at the table who are editors, because they'll say, I edited it. Sorry. To answer your question, yeah, Call of Duty, I never got into myself, but I realized that it's scratching an itch for a lot of young Americans, I think, young Westerners, and I think it doesn't always glorify, particularly the originals didn't actually glorify war as much as a lot of the modern ones did. It was more about depicting a realistic representation of some of the horrors of war. And I thought that was interesting that that took off quite as much as it did, because it's not something you'd think would be a really fun multiplayer gameplay experience, but people wanted something that's really kind of realistic representation of what maybe some of the army soldiers were going through, the Marines were going through. So it's an interesting one. Merry Christmas to you too, Kristen. Pizza says spatial awareness. Modern warfare definitely did start with that nuclear bomb scene. That was an intense scene, Richard. That really was. I've seen that, and obviously they got some flack for some other scenes that came later. And some of them did, particularly those later scenes, sometimes did just feel like shock value. You know, the airport scene. And yeah, when it's going less for shock value, more to create an experience or an atmosphere like the nuclear bomb scene, because, you know, it's not glorifying because there's not a sense in the war, in a real war, it's so different from video games in that when you're there in your platoon, you are a cog, you are a small part of something greater, and your significance and experience and impact is so much smaller, and it's disempowering, not empowering. And so that can sometimes, I think, be a shock to people when they join the Navy or Army. It's very different. Anyway, so yeah, I like that it actually does a little bit of disempowerment there. You can still have an impact, but it is so much, it's not just about you when it comes to that. It's so much not about you in that situation. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it is a true fact, yeah. Listen, have you heard of games like Ori and the Blind Forest since upcoming Sim? What? I need to go more into my Steam account to hear some of these, John, but I appreciate you answering the question. Hello, Seol-Yi. Hey to you too. Hello to you too, Sean Garcia. Have you a Discord, or will you make one if you don't? Yeah, my current Discord, it was originally just for patrons, but I should probably just open it to public because there's not much talk on there right now, and you guys would make it much more interesting. And I've actually removed most of my Patreon links and stuff because it's like, if I can get by nowadays, I've never liked, promoting Patreon. Like, for a couple of years, and for a year in 2017, I promoted it more, and I was just like, I still have never felt good about it because, like, it's sort of creates a sort of condition, even if you say it's just if you can. And I don't know, there's some YouTubers out there, I'm like, why do they have a Patreon, at all? Because they earn so freaking much. And I get the stability of it for when traffic goes down, but yeah, I've mixed thoughts on the whole thing, but I do really appreciate the patrons I have. It's just really appreciated because it all goes directly, with my Patreon, I all put it directly into paying my team to help me. And just that makes a huge difference to the business and to my stress levels. Huge difference. So glad I for that started it. Anyway, yes, I have seen Frozen. I Spring NSSG. I have seen it. Yes. As I mentioned, there was a lot of songs, and I found Kristoff's song. I did not like it at all. My favorite would be Show Yourself. That was freaking amazing song. But the problem is I can't remember any of the song's lyrics. They were so even Into the Unknown, which I expected to. There's no simplicity to it, and I'm like, when I hear them, I'm like, how is a 6-year-old meant to hum these along or repeat these lyrics? There's even sort of ups and downs and jumps in tone, and it's like there's no consistency to the Frozen 2 songs. And I was like, how is a kid meant to remember these? Because I can't remember them. I couldn't remember the story. Why were they tearing down the dams? And I don't like that there is no sacrifice at the end. And I'm not going to put in any more spoilers, if these are considered spoilers, like revealing the song's names. But yeah, Show Yourself is my favorite song. What are your thoughts on the finale to Star Wars Forces of Evil? I'm sorry, Epic. I didn't tune in from the Star Wars finale yet. Star Wars. But I've heard a lot of mixed thoughts on it. People have been really disappointed by it. And I don't know what they could put in there that has disappointed people so much. But good evening to you too, Christopher. And thank you, the one Havalak. Do you know what Cuphead is? Yeah, that's a game, right? That is apparently ridiculously hard. They actually had the creators of the games recently. They did a big live stream where they were actually playing, seeing if they could actually win their own games because they're so ridiculously difficult. I missed Detective Pikachu completely, Kristen. I feel like all I'm doing is saying, no, I haven't seen shows right now. So I'm probably really bad at live streams in that way. Yeah, Frozen 2, it had a lot of potential, but not the best payoff. There's parts of it I think were better than the original. Like, I like that there is more complexity there. And, I found the whole Hans thing from the original kind of hokey. So I was glad to be rid of Hans and to have more, more abstract villain here. And it was more about the two girls. And I was kind of happy to have that conflict over with. Just seeing the two sisters get along and work together is really refreshing because we've had so many years of them in that conflict, them being in conflict, and that's nice to see. I always just get a kick out of watching these two girls just get along, just be there for each other and just say, no, we're sticking together. And that's the thing, is I walked out of the movie loving it because Disney appeals to the emotions. It always has. It's like, even if I don't understand a thing of what the plot is going on, I will still shed a tear. I will still be so overwhelmed and enjoy some of the song moments, like when Anna rises and does that amazing song that's basically about overcoming depression. Like, it's really good. A few people commented when I looked up that song, it's going to save some lives, and I was like, yeah, it is. It is. You finally noticed me, says Christopher. Yeah, we should be noticed more often, Christopher. Thoughts on Black Widow trailer? Epic Poo Poo, is there a Black Widow trailer? Because one of the most disappointing parts of Infinity War was they killed her off. And like, I think at this point it's not a trailer, not a spoiler to say that, because, you know, it's been out for like a year. But it makes it so much less. Why would they kill off Black Widow to begin with? Like, you've got a female protagonist there with not enough representation. She, in my opinion, she has more personality than Captain Marvel. I love Captain Marvel in the Infinity War movie particularly. I think she's so badass. She's so cool. But Black Widow had a lot of personality built up over a lot of movies, but I suspect it's because her contract was ending, like a lot of them. So, yeah, I suspect that's why they killed her off, because it felt very sudden and forced, you know. I better finish up, guys. Sorry, it's like I'm probably boring anyone anyway. But yeah, for those wondering, this is how the house ended up. Not very good. So yeah, better luck next time, eh? I'll catch you guys later. Thank you very much.